The silent genius they laughed at.
It was the final period at Lincoln West High, and the classroom was thick with end-of-day tension. The type of tension that makes your skin crawl as if something big is coming. The flicker of the overhead lights didn't help the mood. Room 309, usually humming with low chatter, now felt like a charged wire. Ms. Bennett, the notoriously strict honors math teacher, with a sharp tongue and little patience, slapped a heavy binder on her desk, silencing the room. Her narrowed eyes scanned the rows of students until they locked on a seat in the back. Aria, solve it now. Heads turned in unison. Sitting by the window was Aria Bell, 17. Auburn hair tucked into a bun, hoodie zipped halfway. Gaze distant, she was the student most didn't talk to, not out of dislike, but because she floated in the background. She didn't disrupt, didn't socialize, didn't ask for help. She just was. Aria never volunteered answers, never raised her hand, never gave anyone a reason to expect much. Her name barely showed up in group chats or project rosters. But today, something about Ms. Bennett's voice wasn't just commanding, it was provoking. On the whiteboard was an equation so complex, it looked like alien language. Even the top-performing students had skipped it. Whispered rumors said it was from an MIT entrance exam. Unsolvable in less than 30 minutes. Aria blinked, once calm and unreadable. Then she stood, smooth and quiet. Are you sure you want me to? Her voice barely registered beyond the front row, but it was enough for Ms. Bennett to raise an eyebrow in a smug challenge. The class held their breath. Phones lowered. Whispers stopped. The challenge wasn't academic anymore. It was personal. The moment had shifted. Aria walked to the board, slow but steady. She stared at the equation. Her fingers twitched, and then she began to write. Her hand didn't pause, as if her brain was running miles ahead of her movements. For several minutes, the only sound in room 309 was chalk against the board. Eyes widened. Even Ms. Bennett's rigid posture began to slacken. Aria reached the final line, then stopped. You think that's right, Ms. Bennett said, voice low but laced with disbelief. That's a problem most grad students get wrong. Aria turned, face impassive. Then they should double-check their work. A few students gasped. Ms. Bennett's smirk faded as she walked up to the board. She pulled out her phone, opened a calculator app, and ran the numbers. Her face changed. This is correct, she murmured. The class sat frozen, as if the room itself couldn't quite believe it. And Aria, she turned back to the class voice, now steady. I've been quiet because it was easier. Because standing out usually means standing alone. But I'm tired of letting other people's assumptions write my story. This is who I am. Take it or leave it. The bell rang. No one moved. Outside, as students filtered into the hall, Aria slung her bag over one shoulder. But before she could leave, someone called her name. It was Zach Varsity Track, the charming kid who sat 2 rows in front of her all year. He jogged up. You were amazing, he said. Really, I had no idea. Aria gave a half smile. Most people don't, until they have to. That night, someone posted the video. It spread fast on TikTok, then Reddit, then local news. The silent math storm. Girl solves impossible problem, while teacher scoffs. 2 days later, Principal Rodriguez called Aria into his office. Waiting with him was a woman in a navy blazer. Dr. Langston, head of applied mathematics at Oregon Tech. We saw the footage, she said, and we'd like to offer you a place in our early research program. Aria blinked. Like now? Yes. This semester, you'd work with doctoral students and be mentored. You'd still graduate, but from a dual credit track. She agreed quietly, but inside a fire had been lit. The next Monday, a new rumor swept the school. Aria Bell was doing research with college professors. Some rolled their eyes. Others looked at her with a new kind of curiosity. A few even asked for help on assignments, but then something unexpected happened. Aria overheard two teachers talking in the staff room, unaware she was just behind the door. "It's not fair," one muttered. "All this attention over one moment. What about the kids who work hard every day?" "Exactly," the other replied. "It sets a bad precedent. Like being flashy matters more than consistency." That night, Aria didn't cry. She didn't rant, but it stayed with her. So she asked Principal Rodriguez to speak at the school's next assembly. On stage, in front of her peers and teachers, Aria faced the microphone. "I didn't ask to be anyone's hero. I solved a problem because I knew how. That's it. But what I learned is more important than any number on a board. I learned how uncomfortable people get when you don't fit their story about you." She paused, "But I'm done fitting. If your brightness makes others squint, that's not your fault. That's their problem." Silence, then applause. First from students, then even a few teachers. Weeks passed. Aria thrived, balanced both her high school classes and college work. The whispers faded. In their place, respect. Then came the letter. She had been nominated for a National Scholars Award, an opportunity to present original work in Washington, D.C. She stood in her room, staring at the envelope, and she smiled because she had earned it. Not by pretending to be less, but by finally being enough and refusing to hide it ever again. Aria's story became more than just a flash of brilliance. It became a beacon, a reminder that staying silent for the comfort of others only dims your light. Her classmates started to see her, not as the quiet girl in the back, but as the standard they could rise toward. A younger student stopped her in the hallway, eyes wide with admiration, and asked, "How did you get so brave?" She had paused, then answered honestly, "I got tired of being afraid. Tired of waiting to be seen. Because sometimes the bravest thing you can do is let the world know you're here, loudly, clearly, and without apology." And in that moment, on the edge of everything changing, Aria Bell wasn't just the girl who solved a problem. She was the girl who rewrote the rules, the quiet storm no one saw coming, but no one would ever forget. And as senior year ended, something unexpected arrived, an invitation from a national tech startup competition seeking high school innovators. Aria, still unsure if she belonged, submitted a proposal. She'd quietly been building a machine learning app that could detect emotional stress in students based on test performance and classroom behavior patterns. She almost didn't send it, but she did, and 2 weeks later, she got the call. She was selected to pitch it live. The night before the presentation, she stood backstage, palms sweating hard, pounding harder than any math problem ever made her feel. Her mom squeezed her hand, whispering, "They're lucky to hear you." And when Aria stepped onto that stage, looking out into the crowd, not hiding, not shrinking, she realized that brilliance wasn't about the moment she solved that equation. It was about every choice after, the courage to keep standing, the voice she found and used. The world had changed because she chose not to disappear. And if you're still watching this, maybe there's an Aria in you too. Don't wait to be called on. Stand up, speak up, and never apologize for the light you carry. If this story touched you, please hit that like button and consider subscribing. We have more stories like this, real powerful and unforgettable, because somewhere out there, another quiet storm is waiting to rise. Maybe it's you.